Ladies and gentlemen, we've got Or Ashwin now. Microphones. Can I remind you once more, please silence your phones. Thank you. Okay, TV cameras ready? Ready? Thank you. Okay, who'd like to ask the first question?
Yeah, one question at a time. Who is going to start? Kuldeep Nair from Gulf News.
After bowling in this and taking those wickets, how happy are you about this wicket? And it will be a different approach to West Indies than UAE.
I'm pleased. I mean, it is quite heartening to get wickets. It's always good to be amongst the wickets and perform well. It gives you a lot of confidence. But in terms of approach or preparation towards the game, it's going to still be the same because we're prepared for every other team like we're prepared for the big teams. So it's not going to be very different. I'm pretty confident about executing my skill tomorrow.
Gaurav Joshi.
Just after what's happened last 2 days, what's your personal opinion just on media in general?
Media here to support us. I mean, it's very heartening to see the media turn up in so many in huge numbers and try and support us. But I mean, this is my take on it. I think media has got a very responsible eye of taking cricket back home in a very responsible fashion, taking cricket to the public in the way it needs to be taken. There are times when I'm not happy with that, but that's my opinion. But there are other times where you support the players, and it's very important to take the game forward.
Neil.
Coming into the World Cup, really, what were your thoughts? Because your bowling has been you bowled very beautifully. You've got you've bowled with patience and you've got the returns for it. Do you think it's you're bowling at your best at the moment? I mean, how do you feel about the bowling as such?
See, I think in my journey as a bowler in international cricket, it's been a learning curve. It's been one heck of a big learning curve because there are times when you think you're bowling really well and you end up learning even more in that particular phase. So you can't really say that you're bowling at the best. There have been times before where I felt like I'm bowling at my best, but immediately, like in 10 months or a year's time, I've always found there is another gear to go up to. So you never really know with this game. If you're open to learning, I think the summit is very high, so you never really know.
Sanjay.
Ashwin, tomorrow is a festival back in our country, Holi. So
Happy Holi to everyone.
So don't you think that whatever happened yesterday, everybody should forget, and Virat and the concerned, our fellow journalist should shake hand, and like we say, Holi ke din sab bhul jate hain, mil jate hain. And then give your best and give a gift for India on Holi.
Honestly, I mean, I do not know what has happened, so it's definitely not in my jurisdiction. I'm not a part of the deciding authority or the management. I do not know what's happened. That's my. I'm very honest about it. I do not know what's happened. But having said that, moving forward in tomorrow's game, I think we'll give the best effort and see how it goes.
We have seen some really tall scores over here so far. How does it feel being a bowler in this?
Feel very little, but I mean, as I said, there are lots of limitations that things offer to you as a bowler, but those are the challenge. You're faced with more challenges than batters in the modern era when it comes to the colored dress and white ball. But there is no point in complaining, as I've always said. It's not who I am, and I'll continue to take up the challenges and enjoy it.
Ashwin, you have enjoyed fair amount of success against Chris Gayle. Even you opened the bowling during World T20s. In international matches, he hasn't been able to get you. So, what has been the plan when you bowl to a man like Chris Gayle?
It's not just Chris Gayle. It's any other batsman in world cricket. I mean, anybody who attacks wants to put you off your hook, and that's similar. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I look to get their wicket, and I go strongly for getting wickets of any batsman that I think is pretty dangerous because I like it. I mean, I like to throw my try and see how much I can make an impact in that particular game. So be it Chris Gayle, be it AB de Villiers or anybody, I look to get them out of the middle. I mean, once you get them out, then the game's going to clear away.
Saka.
Do you have any specific plan while bowling against batting power play?
No particular plans. I mean, it's pretty simple. You got to restrict the hitting towards one side of the ground because you got 3 fielders and maximize that particular 3 fielders and try and see how much you can restrict the hitting towards that side. And if there are pockets that open up and if there are times where you feel you can attack, and batting power play is a very good time to attack because you don't give a lot of singles. It's pretty much about boundaries and wickets, so you can restrict the hitting to one side and try and see if you can scalp a wicket or two.
Before Anil Kumble was inducted into the Hall of Fame, he was asked which current player reminded him most of himself, and he said you, although you were a better batsman, because he saw his grit and the fact you've had to prove yourself overseas a number of times. Just wondering on your response to having someone like him say that about you, and if he's someone that you have looked at in that way because of his trials, if you feel that you are being more accepted as a bowler away from home.
See, I mean, I started bowling spin pretty late in my career. I was more of a batsman until my under-19s. And when I started bowling spin, it was all about Harbhajan Singh, Anil Kumble and all that. So there have been times I've really mocked around with my action and tried and be a Harbhajan Singh, try and be an Anil Kumble, try and bowl a leg spin in between. See, I mean, skill-wise, I think there are a lot of people that you can admire all through your career. And as journalists, you might know better about it. But I've always maintained that Anil Kumble is one of my big heroes for the fact that every time he's been put in a corner, he's come out really successful. That's one aspect I really admire about him. And there have been times people have asked me, who's your role model? And I've actually told before that Anil Kumble is one of my role models. To actually hear that from him is a big honor. At the same time, it's a big boot to fill in. It's not as easy as he made it sound, but I'm really pleased for it.
Kaushik.
Actually, you've bowled at different stages in different games, and you've been fortunate that as a bowling group you've had wickets and pressure to build on. So how much has the contribution of the bowlers around you helped in you bowling the way you want to bowl?
I think it's huge in the sense if you get a couple of wickets up front, then the entire game turns on its head as far as the spinner is concerned. When I come in, I've got that little bit more freedom. But having said that, I just made up my mind that I'm going to bowl this way this entire tournament. And there are times when I prepare for such big tournaments as to what I'm going to be doing, and come what may, I will try and execute it. And that's been one of the reasons that I've come out and expressed myself in any of these major tournaments. I like the big stage, and I'd like to assume that I like to do it my own way.
Last 4, Sunandan Lele, Greg Burkle and Vijay Thakur.
Talking about variation, Ashwin, here. Talking about variation in the bowling, does it depend on your confidence, gut feel, or the type of wicket you are bowling on, or the match situation? What it is?
For me, most of my bowling is up there in my head. It's very mental as far as I'm concerned. And if there is an approach to be taken, any big tournaments, if you look around yourself within your team or outside your team, you always see a lot of insecurities. And I try and capitalize on insecurities of other cricketers. As much as I'm insecure, they're also insecure. But for me, I love the game more than anything else. So when I go out to play the game, I tell myself, I mean, if I excel, I excel. But if I don't excel, I don't want to exist in a normal beat race. You know what I mean? I don't want to really be there and thereabouts with someone else. So if I excel, I excel. I always play cricket to excel.
Great.
Ashwin, Ravi Shastri said the Tri-Series was a waste of time. Do you agree with that? Because it has been quite a long tour for you guys, or do you feel that you've been able to work on certain things as a team leading into the World Cup?
See, you know, it's very hard to take up on opinions because he said it's a waste of time, and if I say it's not a waste of time, it's going to be a contradiction. So that's not going to be the route that I'm going to be taking. I think what exactly he meant was to try and say it was pretty draining on his boys. I think he was fair enough in saying that. And we play cricket all 12 months a year, and there are times when you feel really low and it's very hard to pick yourself up. And that was that Tri-Series was one of those times, and he was very clear in expressing that, I thought.
Vijay Thakur.
Ashwin, 3 wins from 3 games, and there is a chance of topping the group. Are you looking at the likely quarter-finalist opponent or semi-final opponents, or are you just concentrating on the game on hand?
I don't think we are yet there. There are 3 games, and Ireland's also played some good cricket. We are pretty aware of what's happening around us in the group. So it's very important that we take it one game at a time. It's not just now, even going into the quarters and semis, it's going to be the day's game that's going to get you through to the finals, the semis, or whatever it is. So we'd like to treat each and every game that it's a knockout game so that it prepares us in good stead.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, ladies and gents.